Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of I Am Latoya Renee. If you are new here, welcome. If you've been here before, hey y'all. Today is our week 6 GLP-1 update round 2.
Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Still not understanding.
Okay guys, so we have completed 6 weeks on compounded semaglutide, and this week was slightly different from the previous week. So we are still in the same dosage, right? However, we did lose some weight this week. We went from 175 to 173.8. So that is encouraging. I did have some of the same symptoms that I had in the previous week, including nausea and some appetite suppression. However, in regards to appetite, I clearly remember this from my first round of doing GLP-1 meds, that I would have a suppressed appetite, but when I'd get hungry, I'd get overwhelmingly hungry, like can't eat fast enough, like gonna die, hunger type thing. Not literally, y'all, but like just that like overwhelming, like sudden, aggressive, strong desire to eat. So I did have that in this week, which it's pretty annoying because it's a feeling that like I never had before prior to getting on the GLP-1 journey, and it's so unbearable and so uncomfortable. Did have a little bit of dry mouth, nothing too crazy, but a little bit of dry mouth. I remember my dry mouth being far worse when I was on Wegovy. So it wasn't anything that I couldn't handle or that was too overwhelming. I definitely, kept a water bottle with me at all times, and the same is true today. And then finally, I did experience something that was an improvement. Thanks to me just, I think, kind of making sure I got leafy greens in and stuff like that, and fiber and things like that in. I was not constipated in week 6 like I was in week 5. So that was good. That's probably the weight I lost. I don't know. But yeah, so that is what went on during week 6. Now, side note, because it is related to health, and because y'all are family, and I gotta let y'all know because this may impact videos moving forward. But if you've been here a while, y'all know that I had a labrum tear on my right hip. December 26, 2023 is when I got it repaired, had surgery, was on crutches a couple weeks, and then did 3 to 4 months of physical therapy, and things are significantly better. The hip itself is not 100%, but it's not limiting me from doing things like it did before. Well, I haven't been sharing with you guys, but I've been in a lot of pain in various areas of my body. I did get my left hip checked out by my orthopedic surgeon the other day, and unfortunately, I have a slight tear in my left hip now. Now, to make things clear, I've had surgery for a labrum tear repair in my right hip already. Now my left hip is tearing, and it's also got some bursitis, some impingement. Just overall, from a scan standpoint, this hip actually looks far worse than the one I've already had surgery on, did prior to surgery. We're going to start with the traditional method of caring for it, which is taking prescription anti-inflammatories. May even go the steroid route as far as like the injectable steroid. That did not help my other hip, but it could help this one. And then worst case scenario, I might be having surgery again. So we'll see how this goes. Y'all pray for me. I do not want surgery, obviously. But I also don't want this to progress and become as big of a deal as my right hip did, because by the time I got the information I needed in regards to my hip pain, I was so far gone. I was in so much pain. I was so miserable. I was limited in what I could do in my day-to-day life. It truly affected my activities of daily living. I don't want to get there. So if surgery can prevent that from happening, that may be something I need to pursue, you know what I mean? But I haven't decided, and I'm still working through it with myself, my family. I am in school, just the timing of things. I'm just trying to figure things out. But because of that, for example, I had a personal training session today. My personal trainer was phenomenal by doing her own research to figure out what things we can and can't do in the gym. because obviously I still want to continue working out, but obviously modifying things so that we're not making things worse. So for example, with our weighted squats, we still did that, but we did it seated squats with the assistance of, a bench to kind of help offload the pressure in some ways. Moving forward, I can't do lunges. I will not be able to do some things that, she had planned for me, but there's always modifications and other ways to get around it. So I'm super excited that she has already figured out things that we can and can't do. We even did some physical therapy type things that I did when I was in physical therapy after surgery, like squats, like side squats with resistance bands and things like that. Because today was like a glutes and hamstrings kind of day, glutes, hamstring squats kind of day. So, we just did some physical therapy type things, but some like true gym things that are just modified. And that's just what we're going to have to do. And I still had an effective workout. I still burned a good bit of calories. I still feel like it was well worth it. So I'm encouraged that I'm working with her and that she's willing and able to make the modifications necessary. Now, we did get on something that, it's a work in progress, and that's nutrition. I think for most of us, whether we're on a weight loss journey, whether we're on not on a weight loss journey, but we're just trying to rebuild and reshape our bodies or just become healthier or whatever the case may be in regards to our health and wellness, nutrition is a struggle for most people. And in her own words, she literally was like, nutrition is the hardest thing. It's easy for you to show up to the gym, especially if you're someone who cares about the fact that you're paying for a monthly membership, that you're doing all these different things. Like, it's easy for most people to come to the gym. It's harder for us to make good decisions every time we choose to put something in our bodies. And so we talked a lot about nutrition, and I mentioned in the previous video how many grams of protein and how many carbs and how many healthy fats she wants me to consume. It is a challenge. And honestly, I have been focusing more so on protein than on the other things. And I can't keep doing that. I've got to look at the whole picture to make sure that my body's getting the things that I need. And so she definitely reiterated some of the things that I can eat in order to reach those goals. So I'm going to work on that some more for sure. I'm definitely going to incorporate some sweet potatoes. That's something that she mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, I could eat that. Some brown rice, just some different little things to help me meet all the macro requirements that we're trying to meet. So, we talked quite a bit about sodas and reducing and all of that. Something that I have found is if I drink, for example, I just finished a smoothie. If I drink a smoothie, then my desire for soda's not completely gone, but I can go without having a soda. You know what I mean? So just finding things that could be good substitutes. She actually told me about some sort of lemonade that has protein in it that she's going to send me the link to. Might be something that I could, substitute for soda, but also give me some nutrition in the process. I did lose a little bit of weight. I'm no longer constipated. I do have an injury that hopefully won't keep me from reaching some of my goals in life in general. I've got to work on nutrition. So that's week 6 for you. If you like the content that I'm offering to you, I want you to make sure that you hit the like button as well as the subscribe button so that when new content does post, you are one of the first people to see it. It also helps this channel grow, guys. I, of course, will be bringing you brand new content here very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. But until then, I love each and every one of you guys. Bye.